All right, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Saturday morning reading club, affectionately known as the book club, the reading club, and our entrepreneurs get together. Let me just see here, if I get my camera going here. We're just making a couple of little housekeeping items to take care of. We're trying to see if we can get a PDF copy of the book. So before I start reading, and today we're going to be reading the book Get Excited or Stay Broke Forever, a book written by one of our colleagues here who's actually on the call. He's been reading parts of the book, and Get Excited or Stay Broke Forever. It's more than just a book. It's a mindset. It's an attitude that Dr. Parker has been sharing and literally walking the walk, not just talking the talk. So real excited to share this book. And in 1 second, if Fernando, do you want to confirm whether we will get the PDF or Jameson, if that is available? Also want to remind you.
Yes, I did try reaching to him. I know that he can hear us from here. Jameson, good morning. I know last week you actually helped us out by showing the PDF format. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Eric,
Yeah,
for reading for us this morning.
yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I was actually using the Kindle version of the book. That's how I was doing it. So I downloaded
That
Kindle and then I displayed the Kindle book as I was reading.
Aha, very good.
oh,
I have the hard copy of the book. So um, is it
is it
possible for you
possible
to
you? Yes, thanks.
like great minds think alike? Just for the benefit of anyone who may not have a copy of the book, but I strongly suggest you pick up a copy. It's available on Amazon, and maybe we'll drop the link to how you can get that. But if that's possible, that would be awesome. For those of you who have your copy of the book, we are starting on page 10, chapter 4. And it's very interesting when you first pick up the book and you see it. It's very easy and light reading, but it is chock full of information. In fact, last week when Jameson was reading, I think we spent more time discussing the content of the book than actually reading it, which was pretty neat. And it just goes to show you how it hits a nerve. So that being said, without further ado, if if the PDF does show up, great. If not, I will continue to read, and you can all follow along. In fact, I'm going to share with you something really quick. Let me see if I can put the camera on, and and excuse the voice. I was at a very fastidious wedding yesterday, a late Friday afternoon wedding that was really great, and I think I might have been singing and talking too loud over the music and everything. So the struggle is real. But I wanted to show you that I have put, I've got sticky notes. If you were to see the book, it is marked and dog-eared, written in, because I really wanted to absorb the book because, like I said, it's a philosophy much more than anything else. But so I'm going to get started on chapter 4. Chapter 4 is titled Money Mindset. And let's talk about money. The word alone makes people uncomfortable. We've been taught to believe that money is the root of all evil, that talking about it is rude, and that being broke is a condition you're born into, not a choice. That's another lie. The truth is, money is just a tool. It's a scoreboard. It's a reflection of your mindset and your decisions. And if your scoreboard is empty, it's not because the game is rigged, it's because your strategy is broken. Your financial reality is not a matter of circumstance, it's a matter of mindset. A broke mentality is a belief system that you're a victim of your financial situation. It's an attitude of scarcity, a constant feeling of, and I quote, not enough. A wealth mentality is a belief system that you are in control of your financial destiny. It's an attitude of abundance, a powerful understanding that you are the source of your own success. You are a magnet. That's true. Your beliefs are either attracting or repelling wealth. Most people have a rusted out, weak magnet. They say they want to be rich, but their thoughts and actions scream scarcity. They complain about the cost of everything. They justify their lack of discipline by saying, I just can't afford it. They view money as final, as a finite resource that is always slipping away. A wealthy mindset sees money as a tool to create, to invest, to build, and to impact. It views resources as abundant, and it trusts that hard work and smart decisions will generate more of them. The poverty traps of a broke mindset. To build a mindset, you have to tear down the old one. Here are the core beliefs of a broke mentality that are keeping you stuck. Number one, the one day fallacy. A broke mindset lives in a fantasy future where money will just appear. One day I'll get a raise. One day I'll win the lottery. One day I'll start that business. This is just a passive, reactive mindset. It refuses to take radical ownership and instead outsources its financial future to luck, chance, or someone else's generosity. The wealthy mindset knows that there is no one day. There is only today. They don't wait for a miracle. They create one through consistent, intentional action. Number two, the entitlement trap. Now, this is the belief that you are owed something. You feel like you deserve a high-paying job, a perfect life, or a certain level of success without putting in the work. You blame others for the lack of progress, the economy, your boss, your family. This is the opposite of radical ownership. A wealth mindset knows that nothing is owed to them. Success is earned, not given. It is the result of relentless discipline, sacrifice, and a commitment to perpetual self-improvement. And so that's, that second paragraph, right? It reminds us of the saying, when you point, responsibility at someone else, there's four other fingers pointing back at you. And this concept of a magnet, I really think that, what we put out to the universe, what we believe, think about the most is what we attract. And that has a lot to do with keeping and protecting your mindset. By the way, if anyone has any comments that they want to add, go ahead and either raise your hand or put a comment in the chat. So let's make this an interactive reading this morning as well. So now I'm going to the top of, well, what do you know that? Hang on a second. The top of page 12. Number three.
Eric, I guess Dr. G.W. Parker has his hand up. Maybe he was going to comment.
Yes, please. The author, the man, the myth.
Hey, great morning, Eric, man. Outstanding. Thank you so much for taking the lead on this and reading today. It's a funny thing for me to hear the book being read, right? I've read it countless times. I've been on the platform with you guys and read it myself, but to hear it being read, starting with Jameson on last week and you today, I mean, it stirs my soul. It just moves me because you talk about, this whole idea of us being a magnet, right? You get what you're attracting. So what are you bringing to you? So what is your mindset? The book talks about that victim mentality, right? And this fantasy world that we live in. One day, somehow, It's about action, talks about radical ownership. I mean, so this is a bold step that we as individuals have to take to achieve our goals, because it's not going to be dropped in our laps. Nobody's going to give it to us. Very few of us are in a position to inherit a fortune from a relative. So if it's going to get done, we've got to get it done. Not one day, but today. But that level of commitment, Eric, I think is the separating point. That's what separates those who succeed and those who just pretty much get by. They're willing to settle for and not do whatever it takes. I think I've heard it said that if you want to do what others can't do or not do, and then you've got to be willing to do what they're not willing to do. So what sort of price are we willing to pay to get to where we desire to be? But we're off to a great start this morning, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I, one of the things that stuck out to me was, and first was the title of the book, right? Because there's tons of how tos, what tos, and all of these supposedly motivational type things, but they don't talk enough about the mindset. And the book's title starts out by saying, "Get excited," and that's intentional. Like what you were just saying, nobody's going to get excited for you, okay? They're going to get excited, hopefully, for what they're going to do. But the bottom line is that you have a choice, right? Everything is intentional and everything is a result of the choices that we make today. Look around, assess your own situation. You are the sum total of the decisions that you made in the past. And so whether, there's countless stories of people who were born rich and died broke and vice versa. So it's all about the decisions that you made, and decisions thereby, infer that you're intentional. So it must be kind of fun, right? To hear someone read your book and the words that you penned, that you thought, that you put on paper. And, first of all, the realization of getting a book published is very, very cool. So congratulations for that. But yes, it is neat that it also, and probably the whole intent of the book was to make an impact and help others to take a step up.
Yes, sir. Thank you again. We
Thank
may
you.
have some other comments before you start at the top of the next page, Eric. I'm not sure.
Let's go. No, I see that Lynn had turned her camera on. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Not at all. Just turning it on to participate. But greetings. Good morning, family.
Good morning. Good morning. Beautiful painting behind you. Is
Thank
that
you.
is that a virtual or is that a real?
No, it's real. It's real.
Nice. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Monifa, I see you on the video as well. Oh, it looks cold there.
Yes, it's starting to snow. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. What I heard, I'm driving, so I can't really hear as much, but what I did hear was what I was hearing, I should say, if you have your hand up and you're pointing, you got one pointing at everybody else, but four are pointing back at you. So be that woman or that man in the mirror to take introspect and retrospect of, what am I doing, or what could I do different? Don't know, ask for help. Now it's the information age. You can get information from anywhere. Self-help things. You have a package. Self-help tools are all around at our fingertips. So that same finger that you're pointing at someone else, use it to point on this cell phone here and get some information.
It's interesting you say that, right? Because today in the world, even in the poorest countries, like almost everybody has a cell phone. Think about
Yes.
that,
Yes.
a modern luxury, but that is the link or the connection to basically any information that you want, out there. And think about this. There are a lot of businesses that can be conducted with no inventory, no office, just with a cell phone. So the resources are already there. It's really just a matter of, are you going to get excited
Or stay broke forever? Love it. Thank you, Eric. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
U.S. Postal Service, rain or shine, rain, sleet, or snow.
Yes, sir. You're doing an outstanding job. Let's get it.
So are you. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to go back to the top. If you, again, anyone who has any comments or questions or anything, feel free to raise your hand and then we'll take a pause for that. But we're on number 3 at the top of page 12, the scarcity mindset. This is a zero-sum game mentality. You believe that for someone else to win, you have to lose. You are secretly resentful of other people's success. You think that money is a limited pie, and if someone else takes a big slice, there's less for you. This kind of thinking repels abundance. A wealthy mindset knows that the pie is unlimited. There's more than enough for everyone. The success of others is not a threat. It's proof of what's possible. The blueprint for a wealth mindset. Building a wealth mindset is an act of defiance. It's a deliberate choice to rewire your brain and believe in your ability to generate resources. Here's the blueprint. And just as a little side insertion, there's a relatively new concept in psychology. It's called neuroplasticity. And basically what it says is that you can rewire your brain. And there's a whole process on how to do that. And maybe after the break, I'll pull over one of my books, which I think is an excellent introduction to that. But see, it all goes back to intentionality. If you don't like your situation, you can change it. So here's the blueprint. Number 1, stop blaming, start building. You must take 100% radical ownership of your financial situation right here, right now. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter what you've been through. The only thing that matters is what you do from this day forward. Stop making excuses and start making money. Stop complaining and start creating. Number 2, redefine your relationship with money. Stop seeing money as a source of fear and anxiety. Start seeing it as a tool for freedom. Money gives you the freedom to choose, the freedom to create, the freedom to give back. The goal isn't just to be rich. The goal is to use your resources to build a life that pays you back in purpose, in passion, and power. Blueprint number 3, invest in yourself. The most profitable investment you will ever make is in your own skills, knowledge, and growth. Your earning potential is directly tied to your value in the marketplace. You want to get paid more? Become more valuable. Read books, take courses, and learn from mentors. Don't wait for someone else to invest in you. You are your own best asset. I just want to make a comment about that. And, number 3, invest in yourself. And, being in the financial and investment world, as a career, there's a saying that says that the most valuable real estate in the world is the 6 inches between your ears. And most people take that real estate for granted and don't take care of it, don't build it. So this invest in yourself, and even in the investment world, nobody wants to invest in a project that the person who brings the project didn't invest in themselves, right? Everybody wants a little bit of their own skin in the game, or the other person's skin in the game before they get started. And so always think about that. You have to invest in yourself first to get other people to take interest and then to invest their time, efforts, and money, and so forth. Number 4, practice gratitude. A powerful way to shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset is through gratitude. Every day, Acknowledge the money you have, no matter how small. Be grateful for your income, your health, your home, and the opportunities around you. Gratitude rewires your brain to focus on what you have, not what you lack. It opens the door to more. Your mindset is the thermostat of your financial future. If it's set to broke, you'll stay broke. If it's set to wealth, you will begin to attract and create resources. This isn't magic, it's a manual for action. It's time to burn the broke beliefs. In the next chapter, we'll do just that with a direct and no nonsense breakdown of the exact beliefs you need to replace, to build a life that is both profitable and purposeful. By integrating your suggestions, you will now build chapter 5 to be more illustrative, psychologically grounded, and actionable. I will incorporate real-world scenarios, a deeper look into the origins of broke beliefs, and provide a clear, immediate action steps for the reader, for us. Any comments? That's the end of chapter 4. Short but sweet. Anyone?
Eric, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, my friend.
Thank you so much for reading and making it so. I mean, I love the fact that it's a very the chapter is so compressed and so dynamic that it gives so much room space for us to discuss we're learning. So I wanted to go back to number 3, which is invest in yourself. And I think that's crucially important. It's one of the things that most of us underestimate, investing in ourselves, because sometimes we expect things to happen in a big way without preparation. And remember, preparation meets opportunity. So the more we are willing to invest in ourselves, and by everyone being here this morning, everyone is investing in themselves. That's why I love the circle of champions that we surround ourselves with. And when you invest in a book, when you invest in a self-improvement type of materials that you're going to put together to be able to think better, think different. I started with Napoleon Hill books, back when I was starting in the business world, and the book Think and Grow Rich transformed my mind. But these books, they're long books. You really have to take time to digest it. But Dr. G.W. Parker compressed this book so much with his life experience and the things that he has been able to do and continues to do. And the other thing that I also want to give back to, which is number 4, practice gratitude. Sometimes we have the tendency to say, "Oh, that wasn't much. It's okay." When we give something, right? Or you didn't have to do this. When someone gives you something, instead of being appreciative about it and say, "Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that," or a compliment. And most people always highlight the weakness of the compliment. Oh yeah, hey, yeah, I get beautiful color hair. Yeah, but I got some wrinkles, right? So people tend to do that sometimes, but they always see the negatives when they're given a compliment. And I've been guilty of that myself because I when I was young, I broke out in pimples, so I had little scars on my face. When somebody gave me a compliment, I said, but my scars. So gratitude, be appreciative of life. I mean, life gives us so much, and what we're learning today between point 3 and point 4 is being grateful and also investing in yourself. This is so crucially important because now when you move to the other side, and fears are not going to go away, you just learn to control them better, and you take advantage of the opportunity to take risk. All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys this morning. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Fernando. And in fact, you point out something because, a lot of that's mindset again. A lot of times we're taught to be more humble. So when somebody pays us a compliment, then we feel like we have to somehow walk it back a little bit to show humility. Whereas if you show gratitude, like you were just saying, thank you, because after all, they say that, right? It's better to give than to receive. And why take away the gift of the compliment that someone gave you by walking it back in some way in I think the wrong way of accepting a compliment. So that's a very, very good point. And that again, is all about the mindset. Lynn, I saw your hand up.
Yes, I think for me, what stood out was what was it? Become more versus doing more. Where doing more suggests busyness. It can almost deplete us, but when we become more, we attract like minds. We find ourselves in scenarios like this to where we're fed to and we can begin to feed. So that impacts, that synergy and that space where we can truly, truly grow. So that to me was, marching orders to actually to do more. I mean,
Yeah,
become more versus do more.
absolutely. And it also changes your mindset instead of, like you said, just being busy, but to become more means that you're also thinking about the future and what, what ideal you're trying to work towards.
Actually preparing for it, preparation, exactly.
Exactly. 100%. Thank you, Lynn. Dr. Parker.
Hey, this gets more exciting, man. Every chapter it seems. But thank you, Lynn, for what you added, as well as Fernando and Eric. Again, outstanding job. But I just wanted to hit on the point, kind of follow up with what Fernando talked about. He talked about Napoleon Hill, the book Think and Grow Rich, right? That was
I think you cut out, Dr.
one of the
Parker.
first books that I read, two sales. But I come away with Napoleon Hill. Uh, there are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. And that stood out to me. That's actually page 35 of that book, and I read it 20 plus years ago. Actually, 25, maybe 30 years ago. But nonetheless, I mean, it's about pouring into yourself, and as Lynn said, becoming more. But without you willing to do that, then that development doesn't happen. But Eric, I mean, it all goes right back to mindset. You talked about it. We've got to develop our minds to believe that these things are possible, that we're capable, and everyone knows. I mean, the gifts that you have within you, God given, that we just have to learn to exercise those gifts, put them to work, and everything else falls into place because everything we need to succeed is already in us. We have it. It takes some of us a while to kind of tap into it, but this mindset thing really helps you get there quickly. You can condense time frames and close the gap when you surround yourself with groups like this or like-minded individuals that believe what you believe, can see what you see, share a vision themselves, and are willing to root for you and encourage you. That sort of thing is so important for you to get to where you need to be.
And it just goes to show you how much more valuable our mindset is even than our physical bodies, right? Because mindset is independent, whether you're tall, short, doesn't matter about race, doesn't matter about religion. Mindset by itself can create a future that you want. All those other things are just extras and things to be grateful for. So that's a great point. And I know it's interesting that, how many of us, just a sort of an informal poll, how many of us have either owned or read a Napoleon Hill book? Put a 1 in the chat if you have. Either a 1, you've either owned or have read Napoleon Hill's books. Look at that. There you go. Look at that. Lynn, yes. David Sundin, yes. Fernando, yes. Jameson, yes. And the point I wanted to see there, Herschel, yes. Lovey, yes. Ron Samuel, yes. All of us have. And it's kind of like preaching to the choir a little bit here, because obviously the people who have invested the time to be here in the morning and to read the book and then to share ideas. But notice the common thread, right? It's Napoleon Hill is all about mindset. What a man thinks and believes he can achieve, and so it's very cool. Monifa as well. So, any other comments before I start into chapter 5? It's interesting. Chapter 4 was 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and yet it took us half an hour to read it and comment on it. Just goes to show you again that the impact that the book can have, and also the importance, and I see a lot of people recognize that importance in mindset. So chapter 5, broke beliefs versus wealth beliefs. In the last chapter, we established that money is a mindset. Now it's time to get surgical. We're going to expose the parasitic beliefs that have been eating away at your potential and then replace them with a powerful blueprint for wealth. This isn't an academic exercise, it's a war for your financial freedom. On one side, you have the broke beliefs, the excuses, and the rationalizations and the mental traps. On the other side, you have the wealth beliefs, the actions, the ownership, and the momentum. The choice is yours. First, let's be clear about something. These broke beliefs aren't character flaws, they're often inherited scripts. We learn them from our parents, absorb them from our social circles, or adopt them as defense mechanism after a financial setback. While they may not be your fault, it is your responsibility to challenge and rewrite them. It's funny because in my book, I circle that, the is. It is your responsibility, undeniably. The first step is recognizing them for what they are, outdated software that needs an upgrade. Broke belief number 1, I can't afford it. This is the phrase of a victim. It's a statement of powerlessness that hands your financial future over to your current circumstances. It shuts down all possibilities and accepts scarcity as your final destination. It tells the world, I have no control. Wealth belief number 1, how can I afford it? This is the phrase of a leader. It's a statement of radical ownership that opens up a world of creative solutions. It shifts your brain from a passive state of no to an active state of how. This belief doesn't mean that you should buy everything you want. It means you are actively seeking ways to create the resources to get what you need and what you desire. It is the language of an entrepreneur, problem solver, and a builder. The story of two friends. Imagine two friends, both with a passion for building websites, see a powerful online course that would transform their skills and their careers. The course costs $1,500. The first friend immediately says, I can't afford it. The conversation ends. The second friend, after a moment of thought, pulls out a notebook and starts brainstorming. Okay, how could I make this happen? I could sell my old camera on eBay, pick up 2 extra freelance shifts, and maybe have a payment plan. The first friend stayed broke. The second friend got excited and found a way. They added that in there. Broke belief number 2. The rich are greedy or lucky. This is the language of resentment. This belief serves one person to justify your lack of success by demonizing others who have achieved it. It's a zero-sum mentality that says, if someone else is winning, you must be losing. This kind of thinking repels the very abundance you claim to want. Top of page 16 now. Wealth belief number 2. The rich are problem solvers who create value. This is the language of opportunity. You understand that wealth is a result of solving problems for a large number of people. You see successful people not as a threat, but as a roadmap. Think about that as a roadmap, as an example to follow. The wealth is proof of what is possible. Instead of resenting them, you study them. You ask, what problems are they solving? How can I create value? Moving on to number 3, broke belief number 3. I'll save what's left over. This is the hope strategy, which, by the way, is not a strategy. It assumes that money will magically be left over at the end of the month after you spend on everything else. The reality is there's always something else to spend on. This belief ensures that your savings account and your future will stay empty. On the other hand, wealth belief number 3, I'll pay myself first. This is the build strategy. You treat your savings and investments as a non-negotiable expense. The first percentage of every paycheck goes directly into an account you don't touch. This isn't an option, it's a command. This simple act of discipline builds a foundation of financial security and teaches you to live on what's left, not save what's left. Do this now. Stop reading. Open your banking app right now and set up an automatic transfer of just 1% of your paycheck to your savings account. You won't miss it, but you'll have just started the most important wealth building habit of your life. And truer words have never been told. Broke belief number 4. I need to know everything before I start. This is the language of inaction. It is a sophisticated form of procrastination disguised as intelligence, or the paralysis of analysis, right? You spend your life in analysis paralysis, waiting for the perfect market, the perfect idea, or the perfect moment. You are not waiting for a miracle. You're waiting for a guarantee. And guarantees don't exist in the real world. So, wealth belief number 4. I start before I'm ready. As Nike likes to say, just do it. This is the language of momentum. You understand that imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. You know that the market and the opportunity will change whether you act or not. You're not a spectator. You are a player. You learn by doing. You fail forward and you correct your course as you go. You build the ship while you're sailing. Momentum challenge. Identify one small financial or career goal that you've been procrastinating on. In the next 5 minutes, take the smallest possible step towards it. Send the email, register the domain name, write the first sentence of the business plan. Imperfect action creates momentum. The choice is yours. You can cling to the broke beliefs that are keeping you stuck, or you can begin the daily disciplined work of adopting the wealth beliefs that will set you free. This is not about being born into money. It's about choosing a mindset that builds it. The work begins now. And so, by the way, dog ear, page 17, come back to that and take that momentum challenge. And also page 16, take that challenge, open your bank app and set up an automatic transfer of 1% of your paycheck. You won't miss it, and it's very true. Just the same way is that you make a gross income, but the government already takes their piece right off in the form of withholding, and you can say you do miss it, but you don't have a choice, right? And then you have to learn to live within the net pay that you have, and so I have over the years, experienced that, and I know that once I set something on automatic, that it happens. You first of all, you forget it and you really don't miss it. Second of all, is that after a while you come back and you say, oh my God, that 1% now, look what it has become. And that is very empowering. Any comments before we go to chapter 6? Jameson.
Good morning. Good morning. It's an amazing read. I love this book because it basically goes over some of the pain points of my life and also some of the ways that my life has radically changed by adopting the new point of view. Literally, as back in the last chapter, gratitude is one of those major greases of the financial wheel and of the wealth wheel of not only your money, but your health, wealth, and all the other aspects of your life where you actually increase and grow. Going back to chapter 5 and the broke belief of I can't afford it, if you're looking from the perspective of uh, I need to make money to earn this thing so that I can experience it. If you're going to, a concert, that's one thing. Number two, how can I afford it? I'm going to the concert and I can actually look at ways of earning, of actually getting enough money together to go to the concert. Here's the ultra wealth belief number 3. How can I get paid to do it? I can actually go to the concert, take my camera with me, start taking pictures of the concert, of people in the crowd, get their information, and actually pay for the concert by marketing the photos that I'm taking and getting paid for the photos that I take, or putting them up on a website and actually getting paid from that site, or uh, contacting the event coordinator of the concert and actually marketing my photos of the concert to them. So the third mentality is, how can I get paid to do it, with the mindset of it's not me paying for it, it's my value that I'm creating and actually generating wealth from the activity of it. It could be a seminar, it could be learning a sales seminar, it could be whatever it is. But if you come from the return on investment, if you come from the mindset, I'm going to get paid to do it, it changes that third level of belief to keep your mind in, wow, okay, I can do this. Not only can I do this, I can get paid to do this, and I'm going to have fun doing it too. So I back into gratitude. So that goes back into the gratitude on the back end. So you're so grateful that you had the opportunity to experience it, and the exchange could be monetary. It could just be opportunity. It could be the ability to get yourself out there and promote your services. There could be so many returns on investment that are on the back end of that you can't wait. You're so excited you can't wait to do it, and you'll find and do whatever it takes to get there and have just the experience, and then translate that into wealth of health, of opportunity, of whatever you can make out of it. So that's just my contribution this morning. Thank you, everyone, and all the comments. That it's just an amazing book, and I appreciate so much for my time. Thank you.
Like that, Jameson. Thank you.
Yeah. No, in fact, what Jameson just was talking about, and I was thinking, look at the difference. The concert comes up, can't afford it. Sorry, end the conversation, dead subject. Or how can I do entrepreneurial things in order to be able to afford to go it? And like you said, look at all of the return on that investment back into yourself. Well, he now develops the problem solving muscle. He gets excited. He's going to meet other people in the process. He's going to maybe even develop a separate business. And it just keeps growing. I was kind of excited just listening to it. It reminded me when I was in college and I went to school in Los Angeles, and the Rolling Stones were coming. And obviously the Rolling Stones was a big deal. This is back in the 80s. And I really wanted to go, but I didn't have the money to go. And I was basically a broke college student. But I borrowed the money and I bought 4 tickets. I bought 4 tickets. And then I went to the gate on the day of the concert and I sold 3 of them. And then I went to the concert myself. And I'll tell you, to this day, I mean, it's more than 20 years later, I still have a very warm memory of that, and I enjoyed the heck out of that concert, and never forgot it. So it's funny you saying that right there. That's that's one way to change your mentality and say, not, I can't afford it, but how can I afford it? So let's any other comments before I jump into chapter 6? I think let me just look. Oh yeah, I'll bet you I'll breeze through chapter 6 and then we'll discuss it and then we'll call it a day at that point because we got a very activity packed day today. So, chapter 6, short daily discipline checklist. And by the way, absorbing this book, and I do get a little excited about it because I wrote, and whenever I read a book, at one time I used to protect my books. I didn't want them to be wrinkled. I didn't want them to be messed up in any way. And I was preserving them for some future museum. I don't know. I don't know why. But then I started when I really wanted to get into the books. I dog ear them. If you look at half the books on my shelf, they've got highlighter in them. I underline stuff with pencils. I put sticky notes in there. And the reason why I was just saying that is right here. This is a used envelope, and on the envelope, as I was reading it, each chapter I went chapter 4, money mindset, learning the meaning of money to you. Poverty mindset is a trap, scarcity versus abundance, and the wealth mindset is the way that you want it to go. And so, I hope you guys are taking notes because the name of the game isn't just to have, reading and a fun conversation, but then is to take this stuff and then apply it. Okay. Because that's what moves the ball forward. Mr. Ramirez.
Eric, once again, back. Sorry, I know we're going to move to chapter 6, but I want to go back a little bit on action and inaction. I think, especially when you're in sales, and the investment is little. As let's talk about our industry. The investment is so little, but the number one income generating activity is your list of contacts. That's the inventory. Most of us want to have a perfect script before we proceed to take action, rather than making all the necessary mistakes and going through the process and learning as you go, to take action. One day I was reading a story on Bill Gates, and he was asked what has made Microsoft a great company. And he said, what has made Microsoft a great company is all the people that complain about the product in order for us to improve it. So when I learned that was years back, I said, man, he's absolutely right. How can we find, people to join us if we're not willing to make the mistakes and the errors in the way we communicate our message? Since that day, Eric, I kid you not, that little statement changed my mindset forever. So that helped me improve myself, better tonality, make all the necessary mistakes, see what needs to improve. But action I rather take action making a ton of mistakes than in action trying to perfect something on theory. That's I just wanted to hit that a little bit. So if you're in sales, you gotta constantly be working on your inventory, which is growing your list of contacts. Thank you.
That's right. They say, yeah, right. Your network is your net worth. And there's a lot of truth to that statement. So thank you for that comment. And Lynn was just saying there's that measure of excitement again, that growth happens outside of our comfort zone, right? It's funny that people fight to get comfortable, but once they get there, they fight not to get out of it. And that's usually what holds people back. A colleague of mine, she invented a word that I use all the time. Is to get nervous sighted, which is a mixture of nervous, get out of your comfort zone. And I have a checklist. Did I get out of my comfort zone today? And I want to make sure every day I do something that's a little bit uncomfortable. It's making that phone call to that person that either you're intimidated by or expect a negative response to. But like you said, you know, when you look at it from, you know, not what are they going to do to me, or instead look at what is this telling me that will help me to improve. And so very, very valid, very good point there. Any other comments? Otherwise, I'm gonna go to lucky number 6. Cool. Chapter 6. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Short daily discipline checklist. Words are just words. Ideas are just ideas. A great philosophy is useless without a plan to execute it. You've read about radical ownership, power of a strong routine, and the necessity of doing it scared. Now it's time to build. Before you even look at this list, let's kill the excuses your brain is already manufacturing. I don't have time. False. This entire list can be accomplished in under 60 minutes total. You have the time. You've just been giving it to less important things. I put a star by that. This is too simple to work. That's the point. Complexity is the enemy of consistency. These aren't magic tricks. They are foundational acts of discipline that build the bedrock for bigger wins. My day is too unpredictable. All the more reason to control what you can. This checklist isn't about controlling your entire day. It's about winning the first hour and the last hour, which gives you the strength to handle the chaos in between. Speaking about the first and the last hour, my black belt karate instructor used to call those the bookends of his day. And it was very important that you start the day with positive information into your brain, and that you end the day not listening to the local news, but putting something positive, because your brain works while you sleep. And so those bookends, the first hour and the last hour, I grant, and when you add that to your discipline and routine, it's a game changer. So I'm on top of page 19. Discipline isn't about grand life altering acts. It's about showing up for the small habits every single day. This checklist is your blueprint for momentum. Each check mark is a small win, and small wins stacked on top of each other create a streak, a winning streak. This isn't just something to read. It's a tool to use. It's your daily challenge to improve, or to prove to yourself that you are in control. So stop reading, take this challenge, and get to work. So here's the short daily discipline checklist, the SDDC. Number 1, wake up without hitting snooze. The win. You start your day with a victory over your weaker self. You take immediate ownership of your morning. Make your bed. The win. You start your day by accomplishing a task and creating an environment of order. It's your first win before you even left the room. I'm laughing about that one because I went to a military academy, and I made my bed every morning at 6:24. I could make the sharpest hospital corners, and you could bounce a quarter off of the sheets. And so it's a habit that I have to this day. And every day, no matter what day of the week it is, I get up and I make bed. Well, when Erica came into my life, and whenever I got up, if she was still sleeping, then I couldn't make the bed. But if I was doing things and I noticed that she'd gotten up, and sometimes it was just to go to the bathroom, I would make the bed. And after a while, she would come back and she was go like, "Eric, I'm not done." So, but that's a habit that was really ingrained. And it is a win. Now I'm gonna actually, when I come back, I'm gonna go like, if I make the bed while she's gone, I'm gonna give the victory signal. Move your body, even 10 minutes. The win. You flood your body with energy and build the habit of physical discipline. This is a direct deposit into your mental and physical health. Very true. Very true. You got to maintain and protect the body because you've only got one. Next checklist item. Plan your top 3 priorities. The win. You eliminate decision fatigue and ensure your focus on what truly matters, not just what is urgent. You are a leader, not a reactor. Checklist item, next checklist, they're not numbered, but this next one. Track what you eat. The win, you bring awareness to your choices and take control of the fuel you put into your high performance machine. Next item, read 5 to 10 pages of a self-growth book. Win, you commit to perpetual growth, ensuring you are always learning and expanding your perspective. That's another good one. Next checklist item, complete a task you've been avoiding. The win, you kill procrastination, you build momentum and reclaim the mental energy that task was consuming. This is a direct deposit into your confidence account. Next checklist item, review your wins. The win, you train your brain to focus on progress, not just problems. You build a foundation of gratitude and acknowledge your growth. Next item, shut down screens 30 minutes before bed. The win, you protect your sleep, the foundation of all energy and discipline, and you end your day on your terms. So how to use this tool? Don't just read this page, use it. Take a picture of the checklist with your phone right now. Set it as your lock screen for the next 7 days. Write it on a sticky note and put it on your bathroom mirror. Commit to a 7-day streak. Don't think about doing this forever. Just focus on winning this week. Track your score each day. The goal is to build a winning streak and make discipline a habit. So scoring your day. If you complete 5 of the items, you're moving. If you complete 7 of the items, you're winning. And if you complete all 9 items, you're on fire and you'll be excited. Small wins lead to big transformations. Track your streaks. Stay consistent. And that, I believe, brings us to the close of chapter 6. And Dr. Parker has his hand up, so let's go to you first.
Hey, Eric, just wanted to interject real quick and I'll let you continue, but we talk about stacking wins, and some of those wins they talked about in the book that we talk about are small, yes, but you stack them. They all add up, but it creates the discipline that you spoke about, the consistency. I mean, the whole idea of making your bed. My mom used to make me do it when I was a child. I took that same philosophy into the U.S. Marine Corps, and like you, came out of there being able to kind of, bounce a quarter off the sheets. And I consistently do that today, every single day. I never get up without making my bed. And I've been doing that, it seems, all of my adult life. But it created the discipline, but it was a habit. And it was a win for me that I could stack. And all these other small things, you begin to stack them. But think about what happens to your confidence as you see yourself accomplishing in these small things each and every day.
100%, 100%. And and it's those little things, those accomplishments, those habits that you reinforce that give you that, that little hit of dopamine that just, it feels good and it allows you to go forward. Yeah, I believe very much in that. And I've talked a lot about another book that I highly recommend. It's called A Miracle Morning. And basically it was written after research that most successful people I almost venture to say almost all successful people have a morning routine, how they start their day, how they, whether it's get up, brush your teeth, do your personal items, and then and I have the same thing, and I've adopted that book, and they say that it uses an acronym called SAVERS, SAVERS, and S stands for silence. So in the morning, you take a moment, say a prayer, meditate, but just be in the silent moment. So a lot of times I start my day not hitting the snooze, but in silence for a few minutes, and it only takes a few minutes. The A is for affirmations. You got to feed your brain the positive things. V is for visualizations. This is where you got to close your eyes and see the things that you want as vividly and as clearly as you can. And this is a daily habit. The E is for exercise. And you hit pretty much every one of these in your checklist, Dr. Parker. E is for exercise. And you can do 5 minutes of each one of these things. And in 30 minutes, you've already started your day very, very powerfully. E is for exercise, whatever it is you do, but get your body moving, get your circulation going, your breathing going. And the R is for reading. And every day I read 10 pages every day, rain or shine. And they're different books, but like you said, I'm always feeding something else. And the last S is for scripting, because I once heard that a life worth living is a life worth documenting. And so every day, whether it's putting your checklist together, because if you save those checklists, it is a very interesting, in fact, from that miracle morning and from one of the planners that I had, one of the things is to start your day and write down at least 3 wins from yesterday. So think about how you're setting up your mind. And the cool thing about that is sometimes I go through a day and I go like, God, I got nothing done. But then when I review my checklist, all of a sudden I go like, well, actually I did get a bunch of stuff done. And of course, there's another, hit of dopamine that keeps you positive and going. Then always list 3 things that you're grateful for. My spouse, my house, whatever it is that you want to think about. But again, think about the positivity of that. And then I go into my 3 priorities, and then I go, all the other stuff that you got to do. So this is a very powerful chapter. And this is one, like he said, take a picture of it, rewrite it. I think it's even better if you rewrite it. And there's also a lot of power in when you rewrite your goals every day. It makes it real, and the mechanical part now goes together with the mental part, and you retain it better. So, Ron Copeland, good morning.
Hey, good morning to y'all. This is wonderful. I just had an incredible shift, which is going to make a big difference in my health, which is okay and pretty good. But I know that better sleep and more sleep would help me. I get up moderately early and I don't go to bed until 1:30 or 2 o'clock. I know that's not good. Now, you just changed my whole future, I'm going to say, because I never looked at sleep as the beginning of the foundation of my success. And now I do. So sleep is not something I regret, because it's like, okay, I'm not doing something, I'm sleeping. Now it's something that I'm doing so that I can succeed better each day. I get better health out of it too. Thank you. That was a good one for me.
Thank you, Ron. And it's funny, Fernando brought up Bill Gates, and I read a book of his a long time ago. I think it was called Drive, and it was sort of a autobiography, which I really love autobiographies. And he talked about how in college he never slept, and then when he started working, he never slept. And so to me, at that time when I read it, I looked at sleep as a waste of time, that it was an obstacle in my day. And then later on in life, and so I did that, and I prided myself that I could operate on 4 hours. I could never do it what he did, but I prided myself on being able to get by with 4, 5 hours for me today is still pretty much ideal. But what I also discovered, besides the fact that, most of the rebuilding and the restorative work that your body does happens while you're sleeping. And one of the things that people who will coach you on weight loss will tell you that the lack of sleep is causes, obesity as well. Because when you're tired, then you start to eat things and drink things that you shouldn't. And when I was at my peak, um, like health, and when during COVID, when we were hunkering down, so I'd get up in the morning, do my daily routine, then I would go out for my run, and but I started being more conscious about going to bed early and sleeping, trying to get that 7, maybe 8 hours. And I will tell you that the weight fell off, the health felt better, the energy felt better. So Ron, that is a big deal, and so thanks for that comment. Dr. Parker, back to you.
Back again, Eric. Hey, listen, I'd like to get some interaction from the group who's with us this morning as it relates to what wins are we stacking? What sort of habits are we creating? So, who's stacking wins today? And you guys jump in and let us hear from you.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Because we've actually, I'm not going to go another chapter because we're out of time. Otherwise, I'd be delighted to go on this. And it's one of my favorite ways to start a Saturday morning. It's become part of my routine, and unless I'm, completely unavailable or traveling, and even while I'm traveling, usually I'm listening in. Jameson.
I, I was listening while I wasn't reading it, and I was looking at it, but I wasn't focused on it. I heard you say read 5 to 10 pages of a self-wrote book. I'm like, wait a minute, a self-wrote book? You mean I have to write a book? And then Dr. Parker wrote a book. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's like in the back to the bookends. So if I, or you just made a comment about writing down the wins of the day. What if you were even to write, let's say, if you had a young adult, or if you had a child talking about like the wins of, like, if you journaled to that other being through a communication, I can write a book about my day, about my week, to from the mindset of I'm going to share this with my younger self, or with my child, or whatever, and literally all the wins of the day, what you were grateful for, what you were excited about, and where you failed, and what was the opportunity in that, and how to overcome that the next day. It's almost like part of your morning routine, and then the bookend part where you do that in the morning and at night. Maybe spend a couple minutes. Now, the other idea of that is, let's say you have your vision, or your vision board, or your vision of what you're creating, and speak on that, and how you're able to accomplish something towards that vision. And that goes, if you were to put all those pages together, like you're saying, and in over a course of a quarter, or every 3 or 4 months, you would actually start writing a book, just like Dr. Parker did. That's just
Yeah.
like, wait, that's amazing.
Well, and if you believe in God, and you believe that we, each one of us, is God's creation, then a life worth living is worth documenting. I that kind of just sticks in my head. And the other cool part about the fact that, when you sort of daily diary, do the 3 things I'm grateful for, the 3 things that were my accomplishments yesterday. And now I started writing it. So what were my 3 accomplishments? And then I write why, right? Because it furthers my health, because it furthers my career, because and I try to get specific, because then it starts to really have even more meaning. And the other thing that's really cool, I have some goals that I have no idea, to be quite honest, how I'm going to make it happen. But I've done that for so many years, and I look back and I remember when making $100,000 was like an astronomical number, and I didn't know how to do it. And I go like, huh, that wasn't that hard. And you look back, and it's very encouraging that when you see your old goals and you go like check, 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 check. And sometimes it wasn't so much. So today you'll hear me say a lot of times like I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm just putting it out to the universe because of that whole comment that Dr. Parker made about we're a magnet for what we think about the most and what we aspire to the most. So a life worth living is worth documenting, and whether it's as a checklist, as a short diary, because I'll tell you, I don't know why, but in the future it'll have some great value. I recently heard a story, and it was from by Brian Tracy was saying something like 8 out of 10 Americans wish to write a book someday. Okay. I don't know what the statistic is, and I might look it up and I might do a little chat GPT. If you think about the population of 360 million or so population in America, the infinitely small percentage of people who actually write a book. And so, for example, Dr. Parker is now part of an infinitely small percentage of people that actually took the action and saw it through. And here we are, a group of 24 people discussing the ideas and the thoughts that he had. So a life worth living is worth documenting. Fernando, I'm going to turn it back to you, and I'm not going to take it back after this because as the master of ceremonies, the baton is back to you.
Eric, I want to thank you so much for allowing us your time this morning. I know that you have had a busy Friday. You actually shared this morning, how much fun you had. And it's important to have fun. I think it always keeps our spirit up high. And still, you're here and you put your time in. I really appreciate that. And this is what we're all about, ladies and gentlemen. It's socializing with like-minded individuals. And I want to leave you with this. See, January, right? We all write our goals. We all try to see things a little different. Try. The reason why I say try for most is because they don't commit to it. They drop the ball by around this time. And you can actually do a chat GPT percentages of people that lose momentum from their excitement right away. The thing that I've learned to do, Eric, is I learned to adapt to a journal, okay, and then notepads or notebooks to write things down. And I just lost one. I think is the other time that my wife and I went for lunch, and I think I left my notebook in the restaurant. But the thing about it is, I was kind of hurt because it's new writing, right? New ideas. This made me go back to my old journal and my old notepads. So I said, I'm going to rewrite again what I lost. It was new, so it wasn't too much, but it was at least something that kept me in track. So that kind of revived the past, as you alluded to, which is to track things down, see what's gotten better. And the other thing that I do constantly is I have a board in front of me that I'm constantly writing on that board right in front of the desk. So as I'm working, towards meeting my goals daily, I look at that board and it keeps me in track. It keeps me accountable to the things that I want to do. Now, what happens? We see a perfect plan, right, Eric? As you alluded to, we see a perfect plan in writing. The perfect plan in writing is going to require a lot of action and a lot of mistakes. So, what I learned from this is shoot for the stars, and at least you'll land at the moon. You're going to get closer to your goals every time you track them, even if you don't achieve them. And maybe someone will say that goal is too big and it's something that looks unachievable. Keep it in front of you. Who cares who says what? But if you keep reminding yourself of the things that you have to do daily, guess what's going to happen? Eventually, it will happen. As you talked about, you're $100,000. You look back and you're like, it was hard, but it really wasn't that hard. I'm on the other side now, right? So again, thank you so much, Eric. I know that we're over time, but this I don't feel the time when you read. Honest truth.
Thank you. Thank you. That's good material. And discussing it amongst our peers, our colleagues here, makes it more fun. It's everyone here comes with an open attitude to both learn and grow, and and together we all grow more.
We sure do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's give hearts to our awesome reader of today. Here are my hearts for you, man. Hugs from California to Florida. And thank you so much for being here with us this morning. We got a birthday girl here today, Elisa Cabello. We thank you so much for being here with us on your birthday. And Fernando, a few days away. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know of Elisa, I think most of you do. She's been with us since we started in the business. So she has been a part of our family ever since. We have traveled together to company events. We've shared a house together, and my wife made all the arrangements, and we were there for the entire weekend of our MWR event. And it was just fun to share some time with both of them. So Elisa, happy birthday to you, and Fernando. It's an honor to work alongside with you both. You guys are treasure. All right. And yes, it's always important, to do these kind of things and kind of celebrate, right, the life of others, because when you do that, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel engaged in a family aspects of an opportunity. So the other thing is, we do have an incredible event that I'd like to share with you. So I want you all have the opportunity to bring your guests tonight. This event is an event of events. We are actually launching the entire team of Mr. Jay Early. He recently joined our family, and they're doing a phenomenal job since day one. And I do have a lot of respect for his thinking, the way he views the business, how he's strategizing everything around the business, and the kind of people he's bringing on board. I don't know if he has a few little words that he wants to share with us today, because they're having a busy day today. But tonight we're gonna have our CEO with us, and you can bring everybody, promote it. Believe me, you don't want to leave anyone out, because what's gonna happen tonight, you're gonna go, wow. I don't want you to say, I wish I had more people. I want you to say, I'm glad that I put the effort in this event. So Jay, by the way, he's in Germany, 9-hour difference. And obviously, he's from the US, but he's been there for many, many years. So Jay, great morning and congratulations for all that you guys are doing, and what you brought to MWR, re-engaging back in the game. If you can open up your microphone, we would like to hear from you.
Okay, I just noticed my I'm on the wrong camera, but it's okay. I'm looking the wrong way. No problem with that. Let me just say this. Once again, I want to thank you for everything that you've contributed to the success that we know that we're going to have today. Okay, because it's in this business, you need to follow the leader. Now, we had a little bumping in the beginning because you wanted to go that way, and myself and my two partners, Emery and James, we wanted to go another way. So we kind of met in the middle, which I'm very grateful for. But today, I got to back up. Mr. Parker asked for a win. 2 wins. One, I fought for about 20 minutes with my chat GPT to make the flyer that I wanted. It kept screwing it up. Anyway, I won there. And then my wife and I, we do training in the morning, Asian art type training. Okay. And by accident, our goal was just to do 3 minutes of a certain exercise. And we ended up doing 4, right? But the goal was in 2 weeks to get to 5. So we've already passed that goal. That's another win. But now to speak on tonight, I believe that in you inviting your teams there, it will be a great celebration for all the work that my little small team has put in for the last 10 days in organizing and talking to people. As you know, when you a Saturday blitz, there's a lot of things that have to come together, and they are falling apart. We're ready. We started our morning with a prayer, so we know that God's blessing us, and we want to end the day's work by celebrating with the whole team on this call tonight. I'll say all of Fernando's team and whoever else that's there, and we can all celebrate together a hard day of work with a good outcome. That's all I have to. I hope I said enough. Thank you.
Yes, Jay, thank you so much. It's been an honor working alongside with you. Obviously, you got a lot of strategy. You really put your thoughts together to be able to do things, in accordance to what your projection is, and you're headed in the right direction. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is going to be a night. Our CEO said yes. Dr. G.W. Parker said yes. So, we got so much participation, and this only shows, how things are done when we work together as teams. Okay, so make sure you work your list, get everybody excited about what we're going to be doing today. It's starting next Sunday. As a matter of fact, we're going to go back to Dr. G.W. Parker. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to go back to lunchings. Okay, because we have exploded so many lunches that Dr. G.W. Parker and I have done in the past. We overloaded our Zoom. As a matter of fact, right now we got enough capacity, so we stretch the seats, and we want to make sure that all seats are filled in, no seats left out. So from 100, we brought it up to 300, and if we have to bring it up to 500, I'm ready to do that. So I pulled the trigger on 300 seats. The question becomes, how many of those seats am I going to fill in? That's the question, okay? Because the more people you could get in the event, watch what's going to happen to your business afterwards. See, by celebrating the success of a team that is growing, and they're growing, the way they should be growing, which is fast, right, in the right direction. It's exactly what you want to create with your activities to be able to explode your 2026, because 2026 is coming strong. It's time for all of us to be able to come together and position ourselves where we see ourselves. All right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let everyone go. So,
Fernando,
thanks again. Yes, Rod.
what link are we going to use? Cash flow, diversified cash flow for tonight?
Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
we are. Thank you so much for asking, Ron. And the reason why we are keeping it private is a good strategy that Mr. Jay Earley, I see they're using a lot with their teams, is they want people to ask what you just asked right now, Ron, when they see the template. It's a strategy to see who's committed. So, Ron, it only shows that you are definitely committed. All right. Okay, everyone. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you all tonight. Bye now. Bye, Lynn. Take care. Cameras, you can open cameras.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good day.
Have a
Good,
wonderful
Richard.
day, guys.
Thank you. Have a great
Cassandra.
day.
Monique.